from the Red Deer River Valley. I'm Jay Ingram. This is Daily Planet Goes to Alberta. Stay. Daily Planet's here in Alberta, a province known for its mountains, oil, and of course, badlands. There's a lot more going on here than that. This is a hotbed of science, technology, and engineering, and we're going to show you lots of water here in Alberta. Lots of whitewater kayaking, too. Now, this is not exactly a whitewater kayaking river, but even those that are perfect for that adrenaline-pumping sport sometimes need a little tweaking. And we ran into a group who like to torque whitewater rivers to make them a little angrier.
Alberta's Kananaskis River is a paddler's paradise. The flow is fast, the water's clean, and the rapids are fake?
It was a flat river.
Chuck Lee and Mark Taylor have seen it all. As paddlers, they've been coming here for decades. But as members of Alberta Whitewater Association, they were given a very unique opportunity. Turn a flat stretch of river into the ultimate whitewater playground.
Until we squeezed the river and put in the obstacles and the blocks and started to channel the flow and the energy, it was a gravel riffle.
It's fun to come into the river when you're a paddler. You get to see all these waves, you play in all the waves, and then you dream about, well, how could I make that better?
We do that, we'll get a more of a hole behind there.
But after 25 years of squeezing, the water here is getting pretty wild, and making it do what they want to is getting tricky.
There's a lot of science to it. You can do this in a test tube, as it were. A lot of the concrete courses, there's more science than there is art. But in a more natural area that we have, there's a lot more art, and that's why we have so many more misses than hits, unfortunately.
Take this rapid, for instance.
So this is the green tongue.
They've been working on it for years.
The two wings of the river come together here to sort of constrict the river and to force it up.
But they're not quite there yet.
So you see it falling smoothly into the hole. We'd actually like not have so much of a hole, have more of a green wave back up the other side. So it's a little more surfable, a little more friendly.
On an artificial course, this would be a simple task. Just stop the water and go to work. But on a natural river, that's not possible. Or is it?
Back in the 1940s, a dam was built on the Kananaskis River to control the water flow and to generate hydropower. Consequently, the river here, as you'll see later on, will be completely dry.
Every day the Kananaskis is turned off. It takes about 45 minutes to drain. In total, the water level drops over 6 feet. And that's when the heavy artillery comes in. They've only got a few hours before the sun drops, so they've got to move fast.
Push it so it rolls over. Pick it back up. Perfect.
Okay.
So we just dropped a big rock in to hope to raise the river and make it fall nice in there. That's the plan. Every time we do something to a feature, it'll directly affect everything upstream of it. So if we significantly pinch the river off and back water up, it'll flood out everything that's upstream for a certain section.
With job 1 complete, it's time to head upstream to the green tongue.
Let's move this. What are we going to put under there?
With the water off, it's barely recognizable anymore. And with the highway dividers exposed, the guys can finally see what they're doing.
Today the wave was breaking too much and we're trying to raise the bottom up a little bit and hope that we get a little less break, a little more green, and actually open the feature from this to this. And now we're going to move the highway divider up to try and create a little different harmonic. It's all art. That's good. Okay.
Their track hoe digging up the riverbed has attracted a few glares over the years, but as Chuck explains, they're actually adding value to an otherwise dead stretch of water.
With the water shutting off on a regular basis, on a daily basis, and draining out, it really destroys the aquatic vegetation and the aquatic invertebrates. And because there's no aquatic invertebrates in here, then we don't have a trout population that can survive in this very well either. There's just not enough food source for them to live on. So it gives us an opportunity to come in here and work with it.
We think we got this nailed now, but we won't know until the water comes on. So we're going to go try a few things at a couple other sites first and see what happens tomorrow.
Bright and early the next day, the guys are back to see how they did. But at first glance, things don't look so good.
So as you saw yesterday, we put a big rock into the drop just behind us here, and the water's actually sliding off at an angle, not falling straight over the rock that we put in there. So we got nothing out of our hard work yesterday.
But upstream at the Green Tongue, it looks like their hard work has finally paid off.
So Mark, what's really neat about this is we got that wave to fall down and it's green up with a foam pile on the top.
It's curling back on itself.
So it's got some nice speed and it's got some nice retention in the middle. And look, he's not purling at all. He's not sort of diving in very much. I think we got to go out here and try this.
Let's go give it a try.
Okay.
After a couple of days of hard work, I think we finally hit one. The wave is awesome. Hey, it's beautiful. Fast. You can stay on it. Having a great time. Everybody seems to be enjoying themselves, myself included. High fives.
Even with today's accomplishment, Mark's got his eyes on the future for both the river and the sport.
There's still lots of river that we could put features into upstream and downstream of where we are today. And as the river gets busier, we're going to need to put more features in to spread out the crowds, as it were, and give people an opportunity to come out and paddle.